Class is in session, part two of the How Dating Apps and Social Media Ruin Relationships. And let's go.
And black pill content is basically content that extremely hates women. And I don't support.
No, Black Pill is nihilistic, saying that women only like the alpha chads and looks is everything. And if you don't have the looks, you're screwed. You're done. Which they're not totally wrong, um, but because they are very important. But their nihilistic attitude of you're just totally screwed is never a good way to behave. And, you always want to try to find the way out and the way around. And here's the thing. I'll give my opinion on it. So that's black pill. That's what it's like death, right? You might as well, you're done. Your dating's done for you. It's not, I forget what he said, negative or I don't know. But anyway, but it's basically debt. Like you are not dating. You're not going to. But anyway, real quick, my opinion on black pill is that, or in general, is in dating is you got to figure out like I said, the landscape you're in and compete as hard as you can. And I think women are too important. It's not women too important, but I love being around women. I love the relationships with women, and I'm not willing to not compete. Some guys are. All right, let's go.
Shit one bit. But shit like those type of influencers, like, lame ass people like fucking Fresh and Fit.
Myron Gaines is pretty much, he's schooled off of Rational Male, the godfather of the red pill, and he's very schooled on the Rational Male information. And he's very observant. I've heard tons of Myron stuff, and he's total red pill. This guy, he's way more red pill than this person here, who's told whatever. Yeah. I mean, so now Fresh, he doesn't seem to be as red pill, but he does understand women's nature better. Than this guy too. And but Myron Gaines, no, he's solid on his red pill knowledge. Yeah.
I mean, it's clear. It's clear that those two corny ass motherfuckers are the problem.
Problem of what?
Or you got people like.
Okay, it's clear they're the problem. What did he say? Clear they're the problem. Of what? I mean, of what?
Andrew Tate, who walks around showing off, shirtless with a cigar in his mouth and saying a whole lot of
He's Andrew Tate was at the time. I don't know where this guy's getting his talking point. Andrew Tate was basically kind of ripping off Rolo stuff, and he was doing the performative stuff of acting like a masculine man, and it was at the time, so he's not the big bad wolf. A lot of what he said was true at the time, but he's a grifter. Andrew Tate's a grifter. This guy here kind of appears to be a grifter, but there was a time where Andrew Tate's content was very strong, a very strong masculinity. But yeah, he didn't have too much that was off. Now he was performative and kind of went overboard on some of his performances, in my opinion, and whatever. I mean, but yeah, I mean, he was, again, red pill, So, yeah, he gave a lot of good advice, Not all good advice, but definitely was not, not the problem with the, but not a problem with dating.
And apparently this is what a man is supposed to be.
Yeah.
A man is supposed to look like. And
yeah.
It's a.
Yeah, like he's fit, he's dominant, he's assertive, he's direct. Yeah, I mean, he he believes in male leadership. He believes that women should follow men. They should be fit, feminine, friendly. He believes all that. Like, I don't know, yeah, I never saw. Yeah,
to me, these podcasters and these so-called influencers.
Yeah, what about it?
But you got basically on both sides a whole.
But neither of these guys really, they're not gonna. I mean, Myron and you know, and Tate, I don't see how they've ruined dating. I don't.
Miserable motherfuckers.
No, actually, no. Myron's doing very well for himself, and making lots of money. I mean, no, Myron's a smart dude. He's a very smart man. He was a federal agent. I mean, I've heard him talk. I was in law enforcement, like I always say, and with HPD for 22 years and retired. And when I hear Myron talk about law enforcement, he's very. You can tell he did it. He's very knowledgeable. So this is terrible. This is terrible information here.
That don't have healthy relationships.
How, like, Myron doesn't even put his relationships out there, and I don't think Andrew Tate's put his relationships out there. I mean, and he's just like kind of gaslighting. Like, what about the relationship's not healthy? Which relationship are you talking about?
I tell people how to have relationships.
Yeah,
And
Myron. Oh, Myron's good, dude. Myron. So I've been listening to a lot of Myron stuff, and Myron's all about men get boss up, boss the hell. Like I talk about. I mean, me and Myron are in line. Boss up. You gotta look smacks at 100%. Myron knows he's out here dating. He knows. I mean, he's got great. I mean, I haven't heard any advice here, and it's all negative and resentful. I just and talking down to people. I don't get it.
And it's one of the major reasons why men and women are going against each other so hard now.
What the women don't even listen to Myron and Andrew Tate, barely, because they don't like the content, because they expose a lot of their natures. And I wouldn't want to watch content where they expose bad nature of men, where there obviously are a lot, of both genders, right? So yeah, women don't even watch their content. So how could we be beefing over it? I mean, now you can get people that take the message wrong with Myron and do stuff like this and call themselves Red Pill, which you have no knowledge of Red Pill. I mean,
so there's dating apps, podcasts / influencers, and now let's get to the music and the media in particular, like the culture. So when we talking about the media, you got horror culture, which includes porn, which is, free, endless porn.
So what? Guys are not having sex with women because, women are you're having to compete more out here. And so women are choosing alphas. They're sharing more alphas. That's what's going on. So men ain't banging. So what are they going to do? I don't know. I mean, porn, everybody, and especially guys, want to talk crap about porn because it sounds cool. Like if he admits to using porn, you're a loser. Which but whatever. Porn saves more marriage than anything.
Causes you to being with a person. You got, and it gives you unrealistic expectations and shit about, who to be with in the bed and all that bullshit.
What?
How you should be.
What?
Then you got horror culture, which is Sexy Red, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion.
I just read Malcolm X just before this, if you want to review that. But Malcolm X said that white men were going from the Harlem suburbs. It had rush hour from 7 to 9:30, and it said about church girls were having more sex than the prostitutes. They were banging while their husbands were overseas in World War II. They were banging guys and giving guys their husbands money. And I mean, how much did it? There's horror culture where human beings are very sexual. Well, there's 8 billion people on the world, and this 304 culture that he's talking about, or whatever, you can call women promiscuous, this and that. A lot of times it's men that are envious that women are having a lot more sex than them. Players don't care.
All of them, the music, all they talking about is making songs, wet ass pussy, my coochie pink, my booty hole brown. These are
yeah, whatever
songs that they're listening to. These are the type of
No, it's no fathers in the home. I mean, and to maybe discipline them. There's less shame in society for being promiscuous. Their friends tend to kind of approve of it. It used to be shameful to be and it still is. I mean, they still don't want to tell. But I mean, I really don't think, yeah, I think with social media it gets exposed more. But like this says, it was going on in World War II. Women are sexual. They're a lot more sexual than anyone reveals.
that are being literally programmed
No,
into young people's
it's
heads.
vile music. I do agree with that, though. It's
heads.
vile music. I don't like the music, but
Listening to songs talking about spitting that shit,
Yeah.
spitting that cash, and I'm gonna bust this ass and
I don't like the music either. I mean, I agree with that, but I don't
the
think
culture is toxic.
I don't think it's not good music, and I don't think it doesn't. They don't need to be that raunchy with it, but I don't think it's causing dating relationship problems. I don't know. I mean, but if there's any point that he's on I'll give him this one.
That's all I'm just gonna say. I mean, it's visibly clear. It's obvious as hell. And then you got the algorithms. The algorithms, they will flood your timeline with similar shit that you don't even look for. Like, for example, that like you might look at I open up my YouTube page today and I might not even look for a video, and then I'll see about maybe 8 or 9 videos in my feed that have to do with the gender war. About 8 or 9 videos that have something to do with men versus women versus.
You must be clicking on it. I mean, because I don't have any of that in mine. But what I just started doing content. I don't consider myself a content creator at all. I'm doing this because I'm retired and I want to help men. I really do. I'm passionate about this. Passionate about helping men. Passionate about men having better relationship with women. Knowing when they're in danger. Knowing when they're not respected. Knowing what it looks like when they are liked. That's what I do my content on. And I mean, I'm doing it. I have no technology. I'm doing it from my phone because I can't afford the computers right now, but my retirement's good. But hey, it's, live in a nice place, drive a nice car, and so, gotta, I want to get all the cool bells and whistles for my content stuff, but, it's not, it's not, my main goal, my main priority is getting the information out to men, and I'm not willing to grift. I'm not going to grift, I'm not. I mean, there's so many things I could do to grift, and I'm not. I know people around me probably like, thank God he's talking on YouTube because we had to listen to all this crap, So I love talking about it. But anyway,
as soon as I wake up in the morning and I look through.
Oh, but sorry, what I was going to say was the algorithms, from what I understand, are very good, and they are they're very good. YouTube because it helps them, and YouTube pushes your stuff out and. To the right people. Like, it made a point where you're not supposed to do 2 different kind of content, because I was starting to do like my police stuff and content a little bit and then do dating, but they were saying that if YouTube can get a handle on what your content is, then it knows it's dating stuff. I'm going to send it out to these guys because they click on a lot of dating stuff. So if this guy's clicking on my point is, if this guy's clicking on a lot of gender war stuff, he's gonna get so a point is that YouTube knows who to send stuff to. That everybody, and there were several other content creators that they talked to about that, and they're like, no, YouTube is very good at, one of the best at getting your videos out to the right people.
Like, that's the first shit that's in my timeline.
Because you're clicking
not
on
music,
it.
Not a song.
You gotta click on that.
Not anything positive in the world. The first thing in my timeline. When I open that shit up, it's some goddamn.
So don't watch it.
Men versus women shit.
I don't have that.
If you want to be honest, that shit really fucks with your soul. It fucks with your spirit because you out.
No, what happens is you've clicked on it before. Is what and I'm not going hard on them. I'm trying to explain it. Grab a drink. Oh, sorry, I need a drink. Anyway, so no, it's. And that's why a lot of people are becoming more polarized, because if you click on if you click on, let's say, one thing I like is Frontline documentaries. They'll give you more documentaries. I mean, so then it takes you down like the Republican, rabbit hole, so, and then you get all Republican stuff, so you become more Republican. So it does polarize you, yes.
You wake
If you're not careful, yes.
to that shit, and it's there. It's just there in your timeline. It's being suggested to you 24/7. So that shit, you being bombarded with negative images of women on my goddamn end. And then with women, you got negative images of men being bombarded on their timeline. And if you think that what you watch doesn't have
No, it does.
any
It does.
bearing
He's right. No, he's right.
on your
100%,
mentality towards other
100%,
people in
100%.
society, if you think watching a
100%.
video or a TV show doesn't have any type of goddamn effect on your
100%,
brain when
he's
it
right.
comes to judging people, and seeing
100%.
people,
Absolutely right.
then I don't know what to tell you.
He's 100% right. And people gotta.
So
he's right, and people gotta watch out for that. Like, if you're watching all Republican stuff, and Democrats suck, and Charlie Kirk thing. A lot of the people were getting weird on the Democrat side. I don't even get. I used to get into politics heavy, but I realize that's after being in it heavy for numerous years, as far as watching all the content and knowing what's going on, it's a waste of energy. Nothing changes. They're not gonna. You're not gonna. Anyway.
And then, aside from that, you got some shit from social media that basically confuses gender roles. Social media got men thinking they women thinking they men, this, that, and the third, whatever. But aside from that, the whole gender role situation comes up. And it comes up all the
Well, I would say gender roles is more of father's not in the home. Like they're seeing their mamas talk crap about their daddies, and mama's hero. That, especially in the black community, was like that. And boys are being feminized, by mamas running the household, and it's stressed out home and not good leadership because women don't know how to lead, and so I would say more of that is a good cause. Like he did say in the beginning, break down the nuclear family, but yeah. Excuse me.
time. So basically, the gender role conversation goes as this. The gender role conversation is based off of a construct of the nuclear family in the 1950s after World War II. After World War II, you had a boom in families because soldiers and shit were coming back home from the war. They got their wives pregnant, they had families, they had jobs, and this is where the ideal of the nuclear family as we look at it today comes from. It comes from a construct that was built then.
Well,
That's
really though? I mean, what?
men-
I mean, marriage has been around, and women needing men to stick around. Like, marriage is a beta male thing, and I think the nuclear family is kind of a beta male thing. I mean, and I think people bought into the, like boomers, the baby boomers. Maybe they could be right, but I mean, nuclear family. Didn't they? Weren't they around in the 40s? I mean, weren't people have married and having kids? But whatever, I'll give it to the 50s, whatever. But it's just very, very beta. It's very beta. Go get your good wife, have your piece of pussy living inside the house because it's very hard to get it. I mean, that's kind of what That's why a lot of guys get married because, dude, it's hard to date and find chicks.
Go to a 9-to-5 job and provide for a fucking 4-person, a family of 4, and a woman could stay home, and clean and all of that and cook and fuck and shut up, like that was the 1950s. But then again, in the 1950s, man could slap the shit out of a woman, and that was the norm.
But here's the thing. Let me talk on that. That's because I know you kind of went hardcore on that. But number one, you shouldn't have to do that. If and that's it. So let me go back. Marriage is a beta male construct, I think. Beta males get married. So why is a beta male hitting his wife? Because he can't control her. And a lot of women don't realize, like, they don't like their husbands, right? Especially if they're in a beta male provider type relationship. And so if she's getting crunk And just like the Malcolm X I read just a minute ago, men get pushed around by their wives too much because it's beta, because marriage is beta. And, like the prostitute said, these guys need to start acting more like pimps, and they love, women love strength. And that's what Malcolm X said in the 40s. And he's talking about in the 50s, you should never have to be fit. And I've said this before, and some other content, go review that, because I say things over and over again because important, I think it's important to, because so it gets in our, our consciousness. So, but yeah, I mean, it's, yeah. I forgot what I was going to say on that, but, yeah.
So what they're doing nowadays with this gender.
Oh, so if a girl really likes you, she bosses up for you. There's no, like back in the 50s, they knew, like, dude, I don't want to be here. I mean, marriage, like I said. And here's the thing, you don't need nuclear marriage or nuclear family to have awesome relationships with women. I mean, I don't have a I'm not in a nuclear family. I've been single, but not, had chicks or whatever in long-term relationships. And you don't have to live together. And you can have wonderful relationships. It's about how much they respect you. And a lot of women don't respect their husbands. Just because they're a nuclear family and living, I mean, I think a new paradigm might be, I think men and women spend too much time together in a marriage, and women gets tired of them, and they don't know, they don't wonder where they are. I mean, so I think the new paradigm might be that men and women are living apart, and maybe the woman keeps the kids, and, they live in separate houses. I think it's the way it needs to go to start. I know, I do, I might need to think on that to a certain degree, but honestly, I think that's the way it needs to go, because I would never want to live with a woman again. I don't think. No. The more time you spend with a woman, the more she's gonna get tired of you.
Shit.
She needs to wonder where you are. She needs to miss you, and she needs to kind of, lose sight of your D and want it again.
Is they're trying to make men from today pay for the shit that men from the 1950s did.
What?
Let me restate that one more time. The angst towards men today
What?
is based off of the shit that men in the 1950s did.
Nah, I don't. No, I don't think so. I mean, if he's red pill, the biggest change was the birth control pill, and that's when they could be openly hypergamous, because back in the day, women didn't have birth control pill, so when they had sex with a man, they kind of need to be careful and kind of boss up to him, because they're like, maybe I'm pregnant now, right? But once the birth control pill came out, divorces, go look at graphs, the divorces skyrocketed. Now you got single family homes, and now you got, young girls seeing their moms that are single, and boys that don't know how to be masculine and have that strength, so they don't know how to check just like here in the Malcolm X thing, they're weak. They don't know how to check a woman, and if a woman doesn't respect a man, he can't lead her in the home. So, it's more of that weakness. There's a lot of male weakness because, we were conditioned to be weak, and, fempowerment, boss girl, that's the, they're, she's not only a single mom, and she's a single dad too, and all this championing of women at the at men's, the price of men.
They come at men of today and be like, y'all control women and The average man in 2026 does not control a fucking woman. Not even fucking.
Because 80% of men are beta males. And their dads were beta males, and they weren't taught how to control women. And you don't control women, you get cooperation from women by being a badass. A woman who thinks you're King Daddy, who thinks you're her hero, who really extremely respects you. Watch how she looks at you. Go look at Instagram Reels. I don't know if everyone gets the same ones I do, but they're so funny. And I share them with, the best chick I ever met, and I share them with her. We laugh because it's like, it's totally her. It's like how much I follow my man around. And it's like how much I don't have to think when my man's there, how much I miss my man. Dude, it's like what relationships are. And so his language exposes him. It's like, if you've ever had an awesome relationship with a woman, she is the most cooperative woman, doesn't argue, wants to please you, just a boss babe and a soldier for you in every. I mean, for example, best woman I ever met just went to Mexico. Her mom is sick, and is she getting better? But she was worried about her. She's 98, so serious, right? And so we got her there. And I told us, but before then, she made me a huge, huge container of spaghetti because she wanted to make sure I had. This guy is, she shops for me, you know. Yeah. So I can keep going on how much she does for me, and I do stuff for her too. Like look sexy, walk outside sexy. I'm just kidding. She'd probably say yes.
So y'all can stop with that bullshit. And it's some bullshit. So there's that, which makes it hard to approach women in general. It's like it's approaching a woman this day and age.
I would agree with him on. I would agree with him on
Keep
this.
in mind,
I would agree with him.
I was born in 1982.
I would agree. There is. I would have to agree with him on this. Yes, absolutely. And there's things me and him see eye to eye on. So yes, he's right on this. Like this boss babe, because it's not. It's okay to say for a woman to say, hey, chill, I'm good or whatever, or give you a fake number. That's fine. Men get that, but like to be a total like jerk, that's how it is now. Kind of like putting what? How dare you? And it's like you don't even want to give him that opportunity to, it's like, dude, I have to take the, anyway. But he's right on this, in my opinion.
I'm 43 years old right now. I've been approaching females since I was 6 years old? When you're 6 years old, you ask a girl out in school, be like, you like me, yes or no, and all that. I've been approaching girls throughout my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout different decades.
He's right.
Different years, different points in time where society was different. All the way from the early 1990s up until now.
And he, and now the resting bitch face, the RBF, that you see that more now because it's just an attitude, don't co-approach me. But I had that on. I'm banned from Hinge. I'm banned all dating apps. But at one point on Hinge, I had it said something like, "What's really sexy to you, or what do you find really attractive?" And I said the RBF. I got so many messages from that. Girls laughing, and it worked. It was actually they because they kind of see you get it. Like I'm like, yeah, come on, yeah, they love that though.
And what I will say is that it was a lot easier back then to approach women. And why was...
I'm not gonna say it's never been easy. It's there's approach anxiety. You're going up to a woman, and part of the idea of approach anxiety is that you don't want to. Rejection is if it's kind of in our head instinctually that if we get rejected by this girl, we could be ostracized from sex the rest of our lives in the tribe. Because if someone sees you get rejected, in a tribe, it's like now the other girls don't want to ask you out because what's wrong with him? That one didn't want to have sex with him. And that's the idea that, that's the idea behind approach anxiety. Or it could be your death, like you approach the wrong guy's girl. So it's never been easy. It's always hard to cold approach, but, maybe doing more reps, you'll get more comfortable. But yeah, it's always been a pain. That's why guys get married and stay married because they hate doing approaches and stuff.
Because we did not have social media.
No.
A woman and a man
no. I'll give him.
Without being influenced.
Well, I'm not saying. I wouldn't say him. I'm not going to say him. I'm gonna. Well, if you go, well, I maybe cut it off too early. I'll give my opinion, and maybe we'll see if we agree. But mine is that they got DMs. They got guys in their DMs all the time. So why would they care that they don't care that guys are approaching them or not approaching them in the park or because they got 20 guys in their DMs sending them D pics. It's like. Your attention to them is, not that big a deal, So they might clown you, So he could be right on that.
Whole bunch of bullshit that's on their phones.
Yeah.
You know, that's why it was easier to approach back then. Men weren't villainized, women weren't goddamn manipulated to this extent, and it was easier to talk to women back then. But now, it's like as soon as you talk to a woman, it's like they quick to pull out their phone and be like, "Look at this goofy ass dude trying to get at me," and "Oh, well, you know, you better have money." And
I've never had that, but
it's so much harder to approach women now.
But it's a bit more difficult, yeah.
I mean, I could still approach them. I could still pull them. But back then, it was way fucking easier. And then a woman would say, well, that's good.
Well, it wasn't a global sexual marketplace either. You had to, it's your neighborhood, and she didn't have any other avenues, So approach was a dating strategy for her. But girls don't even have to go outside and can have 1,000 Ds in their, and more than that, probably 2,000 Ds in their Instagram, Facebook. I mean, think of TikToks. Think of how many ways they got to be contacted by men and get sex. That's why these dating apps are dying and all that stuff, because people don't need those to connect anymore.
More shit. This is the 1990s. Women were strong then too. They just didn't have social media, And they were easier to approach back then. Look, man. We are heading down a spiral if we continue going this route. We need healthy relationships and healthy dynamics amongst men and women.
They're not going to change. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think they're going to change. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. Nothing's going to change. I think we may be into a big decline. And I just want to get negative. I'm saying way beyond our time. But I don't think things are going to get better. I don't. I think it's going to get more competitive. That's why I say looks maxing is so more important now. The only guys that are going to be getting women in the future, in my opinion, is it's going to kind of go more to the 80-20. Only 20% of men are going to have it. I'm sorry. Only 20% of men, I'll get to bed. Only 27% of men are going to have babies. I mean, in families and banging. Look how many lions or tigers bang. I mean, that's not that many. So, we're lucky if we have 30%. I don't even think 30% of the tigers bang. But it'll get harder. I think so. That's why I'm saying you got to be jacked. You got to be on point. These women have a lot of options, and you got to compete for those options. You do. I mean, there's no other way around it.
Children need that as an example for a better society, for a better future. And it's then we got these social media presents these stupid ass arguments that come out of nowhere, like.
Well, no one should be arguing. Don't engage. That's all you can say on that. Don't engage. I don't think it affects dating. I mean, Facebook has some. Women are making money off of stupid Facebook posts and stuff, and they're always controversial things. But go ahead.
The whole concept of I choose the bear.
Oh yeah, that is dumb.
Or the whole concept
He's
of
right. That didn't help you. He's right.
These stupid arguments like the whole 50-50 argument.
Yeah.
And shit like that.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering who the fuck is putting out these narratives. It gotta be somebody. Somebody in particular because I want to know the whole
and no one's putting. I mean, women that were being smarmy on the bear thing, and they didn't believe. Dude, they'll get killed by a bear. Women love men, and women love their dicks. So they're not gonna take a bear's dick. They love men.
The bear narrative.
Women just like to razz men. They don't want men. They disdain for things you cannot have. They're acting like, man, it's okay. No, they love us. They absolutely love us. Look how many women join dating apps for us.
Start with one person from somewhere. This whole 50-50 conversation, it had to start with one person from somewhere and then just went out to the masses. I'm sick and tired of these conversations. These conversations are stupid, are beyond stupid, and it doesn't help us at all as a fucking collective.
No, it doesn't. He's right.
I am the prize argument.
Yeah. He's right. Yep. I mean, it doesn't.
What the fuck are you, like 5 years old?
Right. No, he's right.
I'm the prize.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, there's a grown-ass man that's 7 years away from being 50. Let me tell you this. I am not trying to control no woman's motherfucking life.
You can't. He's right. You can't.
I'm not trying to argue
call.
with a woman.
You can't. Good call. Yep.
I'm not trying to have these stupid ass back and forth conversations
Nope.
forever about
Yep.
gender roles and all that dumb shit.
Yep. Good. This is good.
I just want a collective of unity and peace and community.
It won't happen.
And
I like his
love,
positivity.
man.
I do.
I pray for this type of shit, but
Yeah.
I don't think I'll see it.
It
in my
won't. He's
lifetime.
right. See, once again, he's right. Yep.
The way that men and women go back and forth online and in person nowadays, man.
I don't think so much
it's
in person.
God-awful
Yeah.
how we treat each other nowadays. Just speaking to each other is just like people are so used to goddamn communicating online
That could be. Yeah. That could be a
that
thing.
they don't know how to speak to people in real life.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't know how to treat people in real life.
Facts. Yep.
So I'm gonna tell you,
He's
I'm gonna
cooking
tell you
now.
honest,
I like it.
when it comes to social media, have a brain.
Yep.
Know when to goddamn filter that shit out.
Yep. Listen to that. Yep.
Know that what you're watching on social media is entertainment, man.
Yep.
A lot of
100.
that shit you should not apply
100.
to your real life.
Yep. In line with him. Yep.
And the truth of the matter is, we live in an unprecedented time. We live in an unprecedented time where women are doing very well.
Yep. 100.
And guess what? As men overall, we never had no problem with that.
Nope.
Some lame ass
100%.
dudes might have a
100%.
problem with
100.
that.
100. 100. Yep.
We cheer for that shit. Please.
100%.
Please be homeowners.
100.
Start businesses. Start careers. You know, do all that shit, man. Be successful in life. We rooting for you over here on the man side.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But then again, you got to be fair. You can't be out here motherfucking making.
Well, there you go wrong. Women ain't go. Can't ask a woman. You can't ask a woman to do nothing. You just said it, and they can't. They're not gonna be fair. That's for sure. That's not in their nature. They don't like fairness. They like survival, and it's not. It's a feature, not a bug.
Doing that, and then be like, oh, well, a man got to pay for everything. And
That's
this, that,
wrong.
and the third.
Yep. And
This ain't the 1950s.
Right. And I don't think women are doing as well as they try to report. They're not. I mean, they're HR. I mean, the executive secretary. I'm not saying they're bad jobs, but I'm just saying, yeah, there's a lot of women in some loser positions,
Ironic, because y'all didn't like y'all's position in the 1950s, but y'all still want to be taken care of like you're in the 1950s.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
On a hookup dating app.
Same, man. Go insane.
Yeah.
You got jobs. You got.
Agree.
You got opportunities. Like you would not.
Women are lazy. They are lazy because men have to compete for sex. Women don't have to, so they can be lazy. How many women have a hobby, like a cool hobby? Hardly any. Because men sometimes get hobbies to kind of be cool for ladies.
Eve. And yet y'all still out here begging men to give you money. Why would we give you money in 2026?
That's dumb. Yep. 100%.
If you out here, like, honestly, when you got damn near you got the same opportunities that men got.
100%.
We live in an unprecedented time.
100%.
Women can do all these things now. So why the fuck are you asking for a provider? I can understand a protector
100%.
because you as a woman, you can
because they lazy. They lazy
physically. I get that. But we all talk about that whole provider shit.
Yep. 100%. I agree with them.
Y'all been watching too much TV.
Yep.
The way it should go is, okay, you got the man, you got the woman. Man makes this much income, man is goddamn doing good for halfway decent for himself. That's cool. Then a woman, she's doing halfway decent for herself, and that's cool. They get together as a union, and then, and then he comes in with what she lacks, she comes in with what he lacks, and you create a union.
Yep. They complement each other.
But we live in a narcissistic society that has been sparred on.
Agreed.
There's been projected by social media, where you got a lot of people that are egomaniacs on both sides.
Yeah, agree.
That don't want a partner. They just want a slave. And that goes on both sides. So I suggest y'all turn off social media sometimes.
Agree.
And realize, wake the fuck up and realize.
Agree.
That we're people. We're spiritual beings and we need to be better overall.
Agree.
That's my story and I'm sticking to it. It's your man Doc out. Peace.
All right, Doc. Good stuff. I like that. I like the stuff at the end. Let's see. Hold on one sec.
Stones. We called ourselves.
That's a cool. I got to do that criminal case. That's a good one. The shootout to Shaughnessy's. It's a real good case. If you, I'm gonna do it on my stuff, but I'll give you a spoiler alert. Basically, their adopted son, and I'm gonna go over that. I'll go real quick right now. Their adopted son. They live in Austin, and they were jewelry shop owners. And she had a great marriage with her husband. She's a cool lady. When I first saw it, I thought she was in on it, but because they come in and so he basically hires two dudes, losers, to go into his parents' house, and his dad had a shootout with them. They get into and they kill the dad, and mom is in the closet and shoots a .357. Basically unloads a .357 from just terrified the back of the closet, and it made him run off. Luckily she survived. But yeah, and so the son was dating a chick, and he was like a day trader, and it was weird because he was a Ukrainian. They adopted a Ukrainian kid, and this goes back to a red pill thing. The lady, ladies love to adopt. They don't know because you're adopting so much problem, and they don't. I mean, a lot of times the adopted kids, no shade on anybody, but they don't feel that bond, and we can't make them. And he had her. She hates her son now. I mean, it's but yeah, they ended up figuring it out. He paid these two guys to go, and his dad and his mom they raised him from, I think he was 4 years old when they got him from Ukraine. And I mean, they raised him as their own, Mom didn't believe it was him for a long time. She wouldn't believe, she was like, oh, they're wrong. They don't know what they're doing, this cop. And she finally had to, But that's a good shootout to Shaughnessy's. Hold on one sec here. What was I gonna... I'm looking up. Anyway, what was I looking up? Can't remember. All right, well, we'll end it here. I like that guy. Oh, I was gonna see that guy's channel. Hold on one second. I want to make sure. But he was good. At the end, we started agreeing on more stuff. He, it was the beginning. That's what we. So it's Doc G07. Doc G07. Subscribe to his channel. He was entertaining, and I did agree totally with that. That a lot of stuff he was cooking at the end of it, so it ended up being real good. So anyway, but you'll see in my part one and stuff in here that we kind of really disagree on, but he he's got a good handle on it. So anyway, just review the videos, guys. To review the lessons I taught in them, and real quick, and I'll end it, but dating's never been easy. Dealing with women has never been easy. In the part one, I talk about Malcolm X, and how he talks about women, and how the prostitutes talk about women, and it was in 1944. They were saying husbands were pushed around, and that men need to be standing more firm, and with church women were having more sex than prostitutes. That's what he says in that thing, and soldiers' wives were sleeping with other men and giving them money. And so anyway, it's never been, women have always had options and always been kind of sexual, and men have always been kind of, doing cleanup, but, watching out for them. But that's it for today, and we'll see you on the next one.